Welcome. Welcome to Smriti. This is episode 2, Smriti Talks with Dr. C.L. Prabhakar Garu, Kallyam Prabhakar Garu, speaking on the topic of Vedas. And in this second episode, continuing on the core of Vedas and the essence knowledge, Dr. Prabhakar Garu is going to walk us through right from the grassroots. It is very nice to have you here again. Thank you for your time from your busy schedule. I know you do a lot every day sharing your wisdom, and really very happy to have you here. And before we begin, there seems to be a great fascination for Vedas, yoga. We have enormous publications, commentaries done online, in paper, orally as well. Going to a very basic question. What is Veda? What are Vedas? Prabhakar Garu?
Thank you. Thank you, Srimati Vani, Satyavani, for giving me an opportunity to share some ideas. Although there is much talked about Veda, its definition and all that, it is not enough. There are so many people who have been trying to understand, define, derive benefits from that. But before we start that, it's our usual custom to make prayer. But at least we should make prayer to Agni. I just do it. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Agne Naya Supatharaye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodhyasmadjuhurana Meno Bhuishtham Te Namavuktim Vidhema Om Shanti 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 Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vakpranaschakshuh Srotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarotu Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha Te mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are so happy to make prayer to Agni, who is the source for all knowledge, all activity, all wisdom and all that. And he is also a spiritual guide to any and everybody. Without Agni, there is no life. And so Agni is life, Agni is Brahma. Therefore, we have made a beginning. And we will be doing it also every time, prayer to Agni, because he has got multifaceted personality. And so we'll be coming to know when we come exactly to know more about him. Now our Vani has put a basic question, wonderful. What is Veda? That has been the quest of everybody. However much we talk about Veda, still the definition of Veda is shrouded in mystery. But people call Veda, it is just with the dhatu, the root in Sanskrit means to know. So it is anxiety to know. What you should know about your body, mind and spirit. Also, it is all about your adhyatma, adhidayata, adhibhautika information. Because man is not simply what we see physically, but there are so many things. It's an ocean. Our body is an ocean. But more important is we have got mind and buddhi. These are the two things which have been endured. And all people are distinguished because of the manas, because of the buddhi. And therefore we require gurus and noble literature to regulate our mind and also see that we are able to correct our buddhi in a proper channel and all that. So all this attempt you can see in the word Veda. Veda is knowledge. Veda is wealth. Veda is the spiritual pursuit, and at the same time, material benefit and scientific knowledge. Oh, so many things, including just in the word Veda. So, by Veda, we understand we can always be getting more and more information so that it will help us for the regulation of our character and conduct. Because those are the only two things which we have got to model to get rid of the karma, and this could be modeled only because of Gnana, and the Veda is a Gnana Rasi. It is full of information, full of technology, full of practical benefit, at the same time theoretical knowledge and so on. So that's why Veda is described as a Saraswati. Veda is described as Veda as Vani. Veda is described as Vidya. Veda is, so many words have been given. I mean to say attributes are given for the word Veda. When you say when it is a Veda Vidya, means even this Veda Vidya has got two divisions. One is Para and Apara Vidya. Both are sacred. Para Vidya and is something about the textbooks are there, the highest spiritual knowledge. Apara Vidya talks about the higher things, still higher, about all gods and all those things. And actually all Vedic knowledge is sound only. Bhadram karnebhi srunyamadeva means it's all sound. And all that sound is from the aksharas or the alphabet. So Vedaksharas, they are all Vedaksharas are fully vibrant energies which will be revealing us to more and more knowledge. You know, for example, there is one, how the knowledge has come out. One grammarian, Rishi, tells that Nrityavasane Nataraja Rajo Ninada Dhakkam Navapanchavaram Udhrutya Kamah Sanakadi Siddhan Etat Vimarse Shiva Sutra Jalam. So Shiva, Lord Shiva, he is the source. He is the person who has generated that. And at the end of his happy cosmic dance, he just produced 9 + 5 sounds. And those sounds have been heard by so many rishis sitting in the auditorium, so that they were able to evolve so many branches of learning. And anyway, that way we see that Veda is the highest knowledge, the sacred knowledge, it is eternal knowledge, it is divine knowledge, and which will help us to give us enthusiasm and positivity in us. Because all people are born, but their mind is always dropping down and all that. But when you once see the mantras, we'll come to know the details of the mantras when we go to that particular section. But we see that what do you get when you read Veda? Because of the integral wisdom, extreme economy of expression, and so on and so forth. Then when we read this kind of integral knowledge and wisdom, science and tradition, culture, and remarkable civilization which has not disappeared, and also all knowledge about the cosmic world or cosmogony is there. So when we once get attached to this kind of knowledge, what is that we get? Because everybody puts a question, we are all very much happy with our own mundane subjects and mundane pleasures and experiences and technology and all that. No, that all will disappear. Just now I had a mouse problem where we could not connect each other, though we are ready to continue. So we depend on that. But Veda is not like that. It is always preserved, stocked in our mind. Therefore, our mind is always ready to reveal itself to you, or whenever you want, whatever you want, wherever you want, that will be able to answer. That's why we call it as a Veda Mata and Veda Saraswati. So Saraswati means flow. So that Vedic flow is always ready like Ganga, and which will be keeping on flowing. But only thing is, we have got to catch hold of that kind of flow and utilize us to our things. Then what are we going? Most important is when we are born, we have got a lot of sorrow, misery, negativity, unhappiness, failure, disappointment, and expected things. All these things will be bothering us, and therefore, simply they give, when you are a student of Veda, when you believe in Vedas, that is Vedaha Pramanam, that is most important. They are our guidelines. They are, then we will have the advantage of Ishta Prapti and Anishta Nivrutti. This is exactly what we are striving all the time. What we don't like, we don't want experience. What we like, we want experience. So, and moreover, we don't know actually real likes and dislikes. So we have to know what is real liking and all that. So that kind of real liking, real discarding, both will be described in our Vedas, so that you will be having a distinguished knowledge. And what you is not wanted for your growth and prosperity, as it has got to be thrown out. And what is necessary, you have to put up labor, toil yourself, and see that you acquire that. Therefore, Veda is a torchlight for us, giving us all kinds of gadgets so that we'll be able to achieve Ishta Prapti, Anishta Nivrutti. And also, we want upayas. Upaya means some kind of measures through which we will be able to overcome so many points of crisis. We don't know what kind of troubles we'll have. Everybody has got his own direction of crisis, and many people get stuck in that and are not able to get upon. Something like Karna got stuck in his wheel, in his chariot, the wheel of the chariot in the middle of the war, and forgetting all that. No, some kind of unknown calamity will come up. And therefore, that kind of calamity will be able to get rid of because of the prayers, because of the solutions, because of the knacks that have been provided of Veda mantras. We can pick up any number of mantras, and because every mantra is a very vibrant and is an energy packet. And therefore, if you understand, actually Vedartha Prakashana, that is to tell the real meaning of the Veda mantras or Vedas Shabdas, is really hard. And it's only we should have Veda Anugraha, Rushi Anugraha, Veda Anugraha, that Veda Purusha Anugraha is there. And on the other hand, we can understand Veda with the Veda itself. Something like Vajram Vajrena Vidyate, you can always cut a diamond with a diamond only. My professor, under whom I started my PhD work, Dr. N.J. Shende, PhD DLit, he was telling, Prabhakar, you understand Rigveda with the mantras of Rigveda only, because many times the mantras will be commentary to each other. So you need not go outside the Samhita, you can find answers there only. But that's why it is a truth also, because if you don't understand at one place the word Veda, for example, at another place you will understand the Veda. So, for example, in Rigveda, Veda is knowledge. But at the same time, Vibhajas, in Manu Sukta of the Rigveda, you get a meaning, Vibhajasva Veda Ojo Viman Vimano Vimrudho Nujusva. There, the word Veda is taken as a treasure or the wealth that the winner of the battle gets it. So the Manu Devata or Indra, he should alone come and help him to be able to get whatever wealth that you get, or results, impact he gets from the winning the war. Like that, we have got the meaning of though the word is there, we have got so much of meaning spread in various mantras. That's why we have got alaukika upayas also are there. Upaya is the measure, method through which we will be able to outwit the insisting crisis. Therefore, we have so many upayas are there. That's why solutions are there, upaya solution. And the solutions are laukika and alaukika. That is mundane and super mundane. So the mundane are very much helpful for making our life happier. But there are some super mundane solutions also through which, for example, you say bhakti and yoga, samadhi. Well, we have got so many terms also. They're all helping you to travel higher up into the realm of knowledge and to the happiness. Therefore, we say the Veda is very, very useful. And again, the Veda has been divided into two broad sections. One is mantra, another is Brahmana. Mantra is only the text mantras which are in prose and which are in metrical form, and but because of the accent, the mantras are highly lyrical, musical, powerful, and vibrant. Therefore, Mananat mantraha, they call it. All the mantras which you find here are the products of deep thinking, and they are all revelations. They are all heard. Therefore, and manayantam trayata iti mantra, anybody who tries to recite more and more times, he is being protected by the mantra. And mantra siddhi is that when you keep on reciting the same more and more times, then you will be getting the expected result. That's why it's everybody's experience. The ritualistic by applications, and all mantras, most of them have got application. And the application of the mantras are indicated in the mantra itself. That is a separate part. I'll touch that later on. Now, the another section is called Brahmana. So Brahmana means explanations, commentaries. Because we can't understand the moment you read Rigveda or other mantras, you don't understand them. And you may only read, but how can that mantra artha should go? But all real scholars and rishis tell you, those people who know the mantra artha, they only will be happy. Otherwise, yaham, see, sthanurayam bharaha sthanurayam yo adhitya vedam na vijanati artham. There is always a problem. Whenever you read Veda, you should also have attention for the artha. If you do not understand the mantras, that is the Brahmana. The Brahmana is explanatory portion of the mantras. If you don't understand the mantra meaning, you are just like a pillar bearing the weight of the building. Sthanurayam bharaharaha. You understand? See, that's why bharahara means you will be only support to hold. So that's why the Vedabhyasa people will become jadatva. Because Vedabhyasa jadaha, they call it. If you keep on muttering the mantras one by one, not knowing what they communicate to you and to the people and to the Rashtra, then you will be just a jada. That means that's all you know, stubborn about it. So we should not be Vedabhyasa jadas, but we should be knowing the Brahmana also. So the Veda is talking about the Paravidya, Aparavidya, and to tell you what is what, we have got many branches of knowledge, and there is also several methods to fulfill all that. And therefore, by Veda, what you understand is, it is a wisdom. It is enthusiasm. Vedas never tell you any kind of losing spirits. If your spirits are at loose or at dropping down, they will give you some measure or the other to put you up. For example, in Medha Sukta, you see that, Amma Medha Devi, you please come with a happy face and happy mind. Because anybody who comes with a happy face and Supratika, it is called, Supratika Adushantam. When the Veda Saraswati comes to our yard with a happy face, at the same time, Sumanasyamana, with a happy mind. So happy mind is happy face. Happy face is happy mind. That's why Vang me manasi pratisthita, mano me vachi pratisthita. So this kind of alternation and support each other and requirement is being very much inculcated in our Veda Rasi, Veda Prapancha. That's why what is Veda? Veda is a Shruti. And now Satyavani has talked about Smriti. Shruti and Smriti, they are good friends. Because what is there in Shruti has been explained in Smriti. Because without Smritis, we can't understand Shruti. Therefore, for example, we have got Yagnavalkya Smriti, Gautama Smriti. Oh, so many Smriti Granthas are there. That's a different section. So everything is an interdependent one, only to promote the exactitude of meaning and application and experience. Because that's why Veda is very important, and it is a Saraswati, and it is a Paravidya, and so that we will be having also some kind of learning from Vedic expressions, because in Vedic times, I mean in Veda, we don't find much descriptions as in find in Kavyas. Veda is also a Kavya, because my professor Dr. Shende has published 2 books, that is Kavi and Kavya in the Rigveda and Kavi and Kavya in Atharveda. These 2 books are published by the Bhandarkar Institute, Pune, written by Dr. N.J. Shende. And because I am a student, I also tried to write on Kavi and Kavya in the Yajurveda. So Rigveda, let me say that you will be able to see a lot of poetry. Whenever you see poetry, whenever you see rhythm, whenever you see music, whenever you see this kind of aesthetic points in our Veda mantras, you will really enjoy. And when you enjoy, naturally you will not be you will not be monotonous in that. Therefore, even the mantras also have got different accentuation, rather called as swaras. The swaras make you more and more energetic, and therefore Vedic language is called it as an accented language. Sanskrit language is accented language, but in Veda the accents are honored and observed. It is a vidhi, because all Vedas are said to be Prabhu Samhitas. Kavyas are Kanta Samhitas. So when they are Prabhu Samhitas, you can imagine the discipline. There is a plenty of discipline in Vedas. If Veda says something, it is having a meaning. And you cannot question that. No, you can't question what is said in Veda, because they are not, there is no authorship for our Vedic texts. They are all revealed texts, because all rishis in their own tapas, they went up to several frontiers of knowledge. So there actually one person has made a documentary on the frontiers of Vedic knowledge. Then at the 7th level of, at the 7th frontier of knowledge, we are able to hear the sounds, the Veda mantras. At the same time, the corresponding devatas who have been described in the mantras. If you, Indra, Agni, Varuna, Vayu, these are all great natural forces, and they like to be praised. They like to be expressed with the desires, what we want. That's why in the seventh frontier of knowledge, we are able to listen to such sounds, and what the rishis and what such kind of elevated souls have heard, they have made a lot of good for humanity. Because all people cannot go rise themselves up. We are always buried in worries and we cannot get out of that. But there are people who hardly care. They care knowledge, they care concentration, they care samadhi, they care getting knowledge and sharing the knowledge. That's why we made a prayer. Agne Naya Supatha Raye Asman. Raya is the super knowledge. And Supatha is the spiritual knowledge. So unless you divert yourself from the mundane levels and attractions, you will not be able to sight at that kind of divine knowledge. So divine knowledge is always useful because it makes you divine. See, we are divine, but how much divine we have got to recognize and also experience the divinity in us. So we, for example, we have got one Mahanyasa that date. In Mahanyasa, it's an anthology of mantras drawn from our Veda Samhitas. In that anthology, you find the same are the mantras to see that the Chaitanya Shakti which are there deposited in different points of our body have got to be activated. So when they're activated, you become Brahma and you become really energized. So that's why Narudro Rudramarchayet, for example, unless you become God, you cannot meet the God. You cannot talk to God. That's why it is something like meeting going on. Because nowadays, people are all fond of meetings. When you say Suklaham Bharadaram Vishnum, then you are in meeting with Ganapati. And so Ganapati is sitting before you. Oh, I am Suklambara. I am Prasanna Vadana. So, oh, you are praising me. And what do you want? Sarva Vighna Upashantaya. I want all Vignas to be cut down. So, this is how we have to feel whenever we read the mantras. We recite the mantras. It is not mechanical recitation, looking here and there and all that. You are in communication. You are in meeting with the gods, and gods are also sitting. Gananam tva Ganapatigum Havamahe. When you call Ganapati, he will just come and sit before you, because you ask him to sit down. Anasrunvan Utibhisida Sadhanam. Say, Baba, you, oh Ganapati, you come. Settle down in my sacrificial hall. Don't come alone, but bring some gifts in your hand. Uti is the gifts, because whenever somebody performs a very happy thing, you have to congratulate and give something to his hand. That is the reward. Any visitor must go or must give. Therefore, Ganapati is the best rewarding god of gods. All people will just come and take your ahutis and get away, but later on they may pass on to you. But Ganapati is one who sits with you, or Agni is one who sits with you from A to Z. And when you say everything is over, then only he will give you his blessings and go away. So that's why Anasrunvan Utibihi Sida Sadhanam. This Gananamtra mantra is so popular, it's a Veda, because it happens to be the 9th mantra of the 11 mantras of the Ganesh Sukta of the Rigveda. So we don't want first 8 mantras, we don't want next 2 mantras, we want only this 9th mantra. So this is the tradition also has got the pickup of choice, because all mantras, nobody can be useful. When you go to medical shop, you don't want all medicines you are stocked there in the shelves. You want only crocin, means you buy crocin, you will get out. There will be some other person who wants some other antibiotic. So this is how our Veda is a big medical shop, I should say, containing all sorts of drugs, emergency drugs and ordinary drugs and anything. But it all depends upon our need. So according as our need, we pick that object. The same way, our Vedas also, we have got Vastu Sukta, Anupatra Sukta, and then Rudram, Chamakam, Namakam, all these names are there. But they're all very good medicinal packets. And the moment you try to buy them or recite them, the mantra becomes vibrant. The energy is being, the Chaitanatva there is being activated. And activated energy always will work and help you whatever it is intended for. That's exactly is what is Veda. So therefore they say Tasmat Vedasya Vedatvam. The Vedatvam of the Veda, when it happens, only when you are properly operate it and understand it and utilize it. So that's why the Veda is, that's why we require really accomplished Vedic scholars, Vedic Pandits, who are able to explain that and accordingly make the mantras applied here, and then make us happier that what we are doing is meaningful. Absolutely. Because nowadays what happens is, the Purohit comes, unless Purohit comes, all are disturbed. When Purohit comes, many people go away, except the Yajamana and Yajamana. Yes, except the couple who are to appreciate, all our people retire and relax. Only if they are Purna Ahuti, for example, will take place, all people will come because Naivedya is ready for them. But this is not the attitude we want, because you make the Ganapati sitting right from beginning, because he wants to know the entire procedure. For example, the Veda is such that the Purohit in Punya Vachana, right, for example, he will ask the permission of the all people to announce Punyaham in the house or in the location where. So, Om Punyaham Bhavanto Bruvanto. Like that, he will ask all people gathered there. Then all people say, Punya, Om Punyaham, Punyaham, like that they say. So, I'm only trying to say that how our Vedamantas are having physical, practical reference and give you then and there itself the expected rewards. Because we always actively work only for sake of reward. Without reward, we don't want to touch anything. That's why Kalidasa says, Prayojana Manuddisya Namandopi Pravartate. Without any prayojana, even a madman will not act. So, whatever you consider, whenever you think of the Veda Rasi, and whenever you think that you should derive some benefit from that, then Veda Rasi is vibrant and it will definitely give us. So, mantra, Brahmana, and many things are there, multifarious topics have been covered in that. I have not touched anything because
Yes, sir.
the details will come into Vedic heritage. When
Yeah.
we talk about the Veda, I'm
Mhm.
just talking about the Veda as a part of knowledge, as a useful knowledge, applicable knowledge, containing full of technology,
Mhm.
contain information, contain in a lot of upayas or measures through which you are able to make your life more and more easygoing, smooth living. What we want is we should have our life smooth living. For smooth living, we have only make because you cannot get smooth living by just, you have to have the help by different people, senior people. Without guru, we cannot be happy. We don't get any knowledge. That's why Atma Buddhi Sukham Chaiva Guru Buddhir Viseshataha. So it is said, if you take decision, your knowledge is first best, basic knowledge, as our Vani calls it. But after basic knowledge, after the foundation, the mansion is to build. The architect is necessary for building a beautiful mansion or a house. That architect, that particular other portion is being given by our Veda. That's a guru. So when all gurus are there who are expert who in different things, Rigveda guru is there, Yajurveda guru is there, like that we have got different gurus. So moreover, it is said we have been granted 120 years. Why? My guru Medavaram Subramanya Shastri was telling 40 years to learn Rigveda, 40 years to learn Yajurveda, 40 years to learn Samaveda.
So 120.
120 is calculated. And from ritualistic point of view, my other guru was telling 40 years to make Pratha Savana of the Soma sacrifice. 40 years to do Madhyanik Savana of the Soma sacrifice. And 40 years to make the Sayam Savana of that. So our lifetime, Kalan, our span of time has been divided. We are not having planning. The software engineers have got a lot of planning. In next 5 years I will do, next 15 years I will do. This kind of planning they do in regard to their mundane prosperity and all that. But Vedas also have got that kind of wonderful planning. That's why, because our 100 years are only four squares, 25, 25, 25, 25. So this 25, first 25, learn the Vedas, learn all sorts of knowledge, equip fully your brain, because the brain power is immeasurably great than the computer power. The computer is only a portion of brain brought outside. We talk about the computer memory fails before our brain memory. So our ancients, they don't know the computer, but they have got that brain memory, tremendous memory. That's why all Vedic knowledge has been imparted to us through oral tradition. Guru to Sishya, Sishya, Guru, Guru. So Guru Sishya Parampara has been there. And I am talking this much because of my Gurus only. You are talking without Guru, Guru's Anugraha or Guru's help, we are nobody. That's why they are called Ajnana. Ajnana Timirandhasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmaya Guruvena Mahanta. So the Gnananjana Salakas are our Vedas. They are all the needles to apply the Gnana Anjana. Anjana is the collyrium. So when we apply collyrium to our eyes, the eye look most beautiful. So it's eye decoration. And so when eyes are attractive, inside and outside, then the whole world will be panoramic for us. That's why the gurus are something like that who make. My guru was to say, I have given you eyes. You learning Sanskrit is eye. So I have given you eyes. మీ కళ్ళకి మీకు కళ్ళు ఇచ్చానురా మీకంతా ఆ కళ్ళతో చూడండి. దేవుడు ఇచ్చిన కళ్ళు ఉంది, అమ్మ నాన్నలు ఇచ్చిన కళ్ళు ఉంది. బట్ గురువు ఇచ్చిన కళ్ళుకి there is no comparison. So I remember the kallu ichchanu. What is that kallu? Is gnanam. Even that Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also says that gnana marga is real marga and karma marga is a mundane marga. So karma marga leads to gnana marga and gnanena. So that gnana, whatever kind of knowledge you want, all that knowledge is simply packed in 15,000 more than 15,000 mantras. So I told you 40 means this is not a misnomer. Every Veda has got shakhas, ascensions. So to become expert means you should be also knowing the differences, variants available in various shakhas. Rigveda in 5 recensions, Yajurveda in 108 recensions, Samaveda in 1000 recensions, Atharvaveda in so many. So we only what is available is very poor. So what is available is nothing before what we lost. Therefore, what Veda printed text we are having is not the only Veda. You should remember, we have plenitude of enormous literature. Veda Rasi is there. Because of such Veda Rasi, the mantras, Vyasa Bhagavan has come into picture. As the tradition goes, nobody took the initiative to edit the mantras. So Vyasa means editor. So he has edited all those floating mass of the mantras. Nobody knows which is Rigveda, which is Yajurveda. So he has made 4 pigeonholes. And he put all those mantras which are reception counter benefits. And all mantras which are applicable for guest worship, they are put into Yajurveda cabin. And all those which are useful for the singing purposes, with more swaras added, put into Samaveda cell. Now it is easy to deliver, which is which. And moreover, all Vedic scholars are expected to recognize the Veda to which the mantra belongs when mantra is recited. Something like the raga and tala, which a musician has got to catch up. Immediately they will ask what raga it is, what tala it is. The musician will definitely say immediately, this is in this raga, that raga, and all that. In the same manner, you may not grow, but this is the scope. The scope is that whenever a mantra is recited, you must be able to see its origin. Where from this mantra has been drawn up. They may get mixed up, but you have got stylistic differences are there in mantras. The Rigveda has got its own linguistic, stylistic differences, and Yajurveda and Samaveda and so on, but Atharvaveda also. Thereby, at least I can, to some extent, recognize to what Veda it belongs. When you know the name of the Veda, you can definitely say the character of the Veda. In fact, I have written so many articles on many things. The characteristics of each Veda I have written down. And also, the method how you can apply the Vedas or Vinyoga of the Vedas to the respective contexts or events in the sacrifices. Thereby, Veda is a ocean. And we have to gather as much ratnas from them as much, because ratna udati. And therefore, for all that kind of activity, we should require yoga. Yoga is you have to harness yourself, your mind and buddhi to that direction with great veneration for the devatas who are adhisthana devatas. And with their grace, you will be able to see the light and then get a hold of that. Therefore, they say, Sishyasteham Shadhimam Prapannam. When you are docile, then definitely the Veda will reveal to them. People keep their name as Veda Prakash. They never utter one mantra even. So I have seen some friends, what is your name? Veda Prakash. That is Veda Brahmana. I don't know Veda. Even if his wife, he used to bring his wife to our Kendra for class. And she's a good lady, and remember, she is also giving good lectures and all that. And he used to drop her and go away. Suddenly one day I asked him, what is it? I am Veda Prakash, sir. Then you are not present. Your Prakash means light. You have to give the light of the Vedas. Come sit inside and listen for some time. At least listen to your wife's talk sometime. Like that, because we love the names, but we don't justify the names. Veda is a way of life. Veda teaches us how best you can have a clean, sanctified life. Gayatri mantra, for example, is one mantra from the third mandala, 62nd sukta, 10th verse. Actually, 62nd sukta of the Rigveda, 10th mandala, third mandala, has got 16 mantras. Does anybody know the remaining 15 mantras of the Gayatri mantra of combinations? So it's so to say, the sister mantras of the sukta for Gayatri, Tatsaviturvarenyam, there are 15 sisters are there, if at all I talked about it. We don't know them. We know only Kunti Devi. We don't know her sisters. The Kunti Devi's sister's son is a Shishupala. So like that we only count on some prominent figures. But behind the prominent figure, when we dive deep, we are able to get so much of information. That's why, so our Vedas are very much helpful. Let us not have one kind of vairagya. It's called abha vairagya. So when you don't understand, you get vairagya. Something like the fox and the grapes we study in our high school time. The fox and grapes. It jumps and jumps to catch the grapes, but ultimately cannot catch it, and so goes away. And the grapes are sour, not sweet. So that's how our life is there. So I want to impress that Veda is really having all, catering everybody's taste, because we go about the taste. Ruchi is Kanti, and and all that has been done by the Maharshis. And in fact, in Rigveda, we have got family mandalas. There are 7 Rishi, their families are, Vishwamitra Mandala is there, Vasishtha Mandala is there. I'll talk about it later on. So, Rishi families are there. That's what is our permanent ID dog belt. The permanent dog belt is that we wear the name, we take the name of the Rishi, we take the name of the Gotra, we take the name of the Veda. Our identity is established before all people. That's what we call Pravara. What is Pravara? That is selected ID card which has been granted to us by our parents at the time of Upanayanam. Before Upanayanam, we don't have ID. We are just in the air. Who are you? What is our identity? And what is our... So that identity is, first identity comes because you have to, Veda, you have all the 4 Vedas, all 4 oceans and all people should be happy. Then you come to personal and say, I will eat this Gotra, this Rishi, this Tutra, and all these details come. So that our identity is only through the Veda, through the Veda Rishi, through the Sutra to which belong. Otherwise, we have no identity at all. Whatever identities we have got, that's a permanent address. Whatever other identities are all temporary. So, Veda is permanent, that is our ID. To which Veda you belong? If you go to the traditional big scholars, they will ask you, to what Veda you belong? Even in marriages, sometimes they ask you, to which Veda you belong. But if you don't know, at least they will ask you, tell your Pravara. From Pravara, you understand what Veda is. No, I don't know Pravara. Okay, at least father will come and tell, my father used to say, this is my Pravara. However it is, our ID is established because of the name Veda, because of the influence of Veda and impact of Veda culture, which is there in our blood, in our activity and personalities. That's why I told you, Veda Vedye Pare Pumshi Jate Dasarathatmaje Vedaha Pracheta Sadasit Sakshat Ramayanatmana. I hope you know this sloka, where because all people are not having access to Vedas. In fact, one police officer who retired, he telephoned me and from Malliswaram, Bangalore, that, sir, you are running a Veda school. So, are the Vedas printed? Then I said, yes, they are printed. We are teaching all this. Can I have darshan of Vedas? So I remember that police officer who never saw a Vedic text in his lifetime. He came to me in JP Nagar and I showed him all the Vedic texts. Oh, this is all printed, you are teaching and all that. He disappeared afterwards, I don't know. But his anxiety was to have the Veda Grantha Darshana. And today I know that there is one Avadhanulu who has prepared all the Vedic texts, calling it Sabda Veda. And it is about 2,500 pages. And he has brought out, it is available in Hyderabad, that Avadhanulu. And he, Sabda Veda, I can send the photo also, I can put it in our website. That Sabda Veda. And it's such a, he's at subsidiary rate, he's selling for 6,000 and odd. So, but anyway, all the Vedic texts are there with the swaras in Devanagari script and 2,500 pages. And when you look at that book, darshan of that, I'll forward it to you, ma. So then you will get an idea that how many rishis, thousands and thousands of rishis are responsible to pass on such a tremendous knowledge which has got multifarious activity and multidisciplinary subjects. So, because our faculties are different, Everybody's faculty is not the same. We always want change and choosing. So somebody takes astrology, somebody takes chemistry, somebody takes medicine, somebody takes engineering. But for all our faculties, you have got to knowledge to unearth that. For if you are very much aeronautical engineer, read the Bharadwaja Shastra of 9th century. So he talked about all Vimana Shastra. So Vimana Shastra again is there in our Vedas, the idea to fly. And for example, so like that, we can always in particular see that whatever you want from scientific point of view, from spiritual point of view, from any other points of view, you have definitely a great opening and resource it is there. Therefore, we should consider that Vedas are Pramana. Sankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and also the Panditas. We have got plenty of people who try to go through the typical tests to prove that Vedas are Pramanam and Vedas are authoritative texts. There is nothing to beat that or debate with it. And there are so many other religions who have become Vedabahyas. Even the Vedabahya religions also acknowledge Veda only.